Ah, there he goes. Okay. Now you are talking about, are you one of the organizers of this event against the police militarization? And tell us what exactly this is about, because where was I? And this sister came up to me and she told me, do you know about this, and how the Office of Emergency Management is planning to host an urban shield for the third time? I didn't know about it for the first time. What is an urban shield?
Okay, yeah. So my name is Ali Issa. I'm the National Field Organizer for War Resisters League. I'm actually based here in New York City, but I visited Boston a couple times in the past month because there are many community and activist organizations in Boston that have come together with War Resisters League's Facing Tear Gas campaign to, like you're saying, try to challenge militarization. And the reason why people are talking about it more now, of course, is in the wake of the tragedy of the marathon bombing, but also it happens that Urban Shield is going to be held on May 3rd and 4th. And Urban Shield is a massive SWAT training that actually began 8 years ago in Oakland, and at this point exists in Oakland, in Central Texas, and in Boston. And it is basically what they call an emergency preparedness exercise, but at the same time it is a direct engine of police militarization. So they create certain scenarios, whether it be a mock attack or it be a bank robbery, and bring SWAT units, in this case from all over Massachusetts and the area, to practice.
Where? They're going to be practicing where?
Well, actually, that's something we do not know for this particular year, and I would say that that's something that organizations in STOMP, which is the coalition that's forming to oppose this, would like to ask the Office of Emergency Management, because they have not responded to our email. A year ago, Urban Shield actually was supposed to happen, but didn't because of the marathon bombing. So we have to go back to 2012, the last time it did happen, and in that case, it happened in various spots all over Boston. It happened near a school. It happened near the water when they pretended that there was an attack on a port. So it's very complex and broad, the different scenarios they come up with, and what underscores the fact that it's more than just emergency preparedness is that the scenarios they give are often related to what they define as a threat. So that is very connected to the war on terror and the war on drugs and the war on immigrants and the war on dissent, all those wars, because this is funded directly by the Department of Homeland Security. So what it has done is has ramped up the already existing militarization that's been around since the late 70s with the war on drugs and the changing of laws which have allowed the Pentagon to just transfer weapons to police departments, and added that to the fear that's created by things like the war on terror, and has, as a consequence, increased surveillance against Muslim communities. It's increased the heavy artillery that exists in Roxbury and Dorchester, and just increased the level of police intimidation that ordinary folk experience all the time.
Now, STOMP stands for the Stop Oppressive Militarized Police Coalition, STOMP. And you, Ali, let me pronounce your last name. Is it Issa? Ali Issa?
Issa.
Issa of the War Resisters League. Now, you talked about the 70s and terrorizing. I mean, black folks have been terrorized in this country since slavery for like over 400 years between the Klan and the White Citizens Council. And I do remember during the 60s, and I also remember MOVE in Philadelphia, where the government dropped a bomb on people and burned out 85 different people's homes. So now the actual rally is May 4th. Where is that supposed to take place?
And it's not a rally, actually, because one point about this issue is that it affects so many communities, including very prominently the black community, but it's actually like a speak out and a chance for different groups to talk about how this is affecting them.
Oh.
So it's May 4th at 4 at 197A Humboldt Avenue, and Families for Justice's Healing was kind enough to open up their space for us. And the point that also we're working with similar groups in Central Texas, in the Bay, is that this affects many people, and people that are active in social justice work know that whenever there is a rally, the SWAT teams come out, right? This is also an attack on our ability to challenge anything, and really makes it intimidating to go up against 100 SWAT cops when you yourself maybe have 40 people in a demonstration, right? So that's one level. And then the second is exactly what you said. I mean, people were surprised by how much military might was brought down to Watertown exactly a year ago, but that's not new for a lot of communities that have been experiencing it. Yeah, since since the U.S. was colonized, right? And police were created as a method of control, right, with slave catchers. So there's an extension of that now, backed by the Pentagon and the U.S., which is the country that spends the most on military in the world by far. I think it's the 14 top countries combined have to find the money to spend how much the U.S. spends on the military. So now that's coming home very literally in the form of these military assault rifles and tanks that most police departments, even real small ones, not just in Boston, but all over New England, in Arizona, have access to. So clearly this is something that people have on their minds with how quickly STOMP has formed, and it'd be great if people joined us and talked about their experiences with SWAT raids and how we can push this back and build power and a movement to put these resources where they should really go.
So now, tell us again, it's May 4th, and where it is, and how, what are the numbers if people want to get more information about this initiative?
Sure. So it's Sunday, May 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. The address is 197A Humboldt Avenue. It's Boston. And, to get involved, I'd say just come out to that event first. If you'd like to email us and get part of the organizing, and this is also intended to go way past this one event, but this is just a way, like I said, to kind of look across at each other and see what we've been going through. So email me at ali@warresisters, all one word, .org. And you can also like the STOMP Facebook page, which is facebook.com/StompBoston.
Awesome. Ali, I'm so glad that we have this information out, bringing it out to the community. We will definitely put this in our public service announcement. If people have questions, call 617-282-0685 at Boston Praise Radio and TV. This is the Boston Praise Report. I'm Sharon Hinton. This is Ali Issa, and he is with the War Resisters League and the Stop Oppressive Militarized Police Coalition, STOMP, May 4th from 4 to 6 on Humboldt Avenue. You got to come out and find out more information about what's going on in our community. Don't wait until it steps up to your doorstep and you can't do anything about it. You need to stop it now. Is that right, Ali?
I couldn't agree more, Sharon. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And we've got to, actually, you're in New York now, and so we thank you for calling from New York. Hopefully we'll get you in the studio. I don't know when you're coming in on May 4th, but we can get you in to get more information and get some more participation out in that particular community, because the police are all over that. That area used to be called Sugar Hill. Black folks that had a lot of money stayed in Sugar Hill, and because there's a lot of supposedly gang activity around there, they call it H Block. And it's justifying, cops around there all the time. And the media, of course, is in collusion, certain parts of the media, not us, to actually, make it seem like it's justified. What do you think about, and I have my own thoughts about this, but what do you think about the gun buyback program specifically geared towards urban areas at a time when the police are ramping up their guns?
Yeah, I mean, I think these are definitely discussions for a community to have, and I wouldn't want to, from New York, not being from there, drop my advice or directives. But I would say that the amount of weapons that police departments like the Boston Police, like various SWAT agencies around the country have now is stunning. I mean, just over this past 10 years, since 2003, the Department of Homeland Security has given $34 billion in battle gear, in heavy weapons. We're talking about these assault rifles, armored personnel carriers. So if we're talking about buyback from community members, it's clearly also a time to talk about taking some of that money, which is arming cops to the teeth, and putting it back into the community.
This is police. We're not talking about Iraq or Afghanistan. We're talking about in urban areas.
That's right, yeah, and it's literally the 1033 program. I'd encourage your listeners to check it out. Is the program which is called a military surplus program. So the weapons that were used to occupy Iraq and Afghanistan illegally are now literally being transferred for free to police departments. And that's part of the reason why a lot of these police departments have these massive weapons, is because the U.S. has so much military surplus, and the police forces want to be able to intimidate, and they can get it for free. So the 1033 program is another main drive of this fact that the police are armed to the teeth, and it's a legacy of the fact that the U.S. has been, one of the greatest war profiteer nations in history.
Wow. Ali, Brother Ali, thank you so much. We're going to keep updated with this. Thank you for calling in from New York City to Boston Praise Radio and TV, and God bless you.